ran September 16th. I ran away from home.
All right, let's do it.
And I went on a crime spree September 18th. That crime spree led to a guy by the name of Michael Levy losing his life. I came up with a plan.
Michael Levy, man.
Man, we go to the mall, steal some starter jackets. At that time, the starter athletic jackets was the shit. My whole concept for wanting to steal these jackets, it was a teenage club that we all went to every Friday and Saturday called Tingles out in Grand Prairie. So, man, I just wanted to steal some jackets so I can have me a starter jacket to wear at Tingles. All I had to do was go home, man, and ask my mama to buy me one. Do good in school, and I could have got anything I asked for. So I went and got my buddy DJ. DJ was a good kid. Had never really been in any trouble. We went and got his friends, Big Twan and Lil Twan. Big Twan was an older teenager guy, and all of these kids was older than me, right? I was the youngest, but I was the brains out of the bunch. I always had leadership skills and qualities. And so we went to the Farm 303 Mall. We went to Foot Locker. Tony Dorsett, a legendary running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Dorsett had a club at this mall. So when we go inside the Foot Locker, there was this black dude that looked like he could run fast. So we went and played video game. We said we'll do it later. So we come back later on that day, come back, and there's a white guy working in there. So we went in there, tried on hats, tried on jackets, and ran out. And in the process of us running out, there was a white guy by the name of Michael Levy in the parking lot working on his car.
Hold on.
Unbeknownst to us,
hold on. So you telling me Michael Levy, the guy that ended up dying, did not work at the store? You saying when y'all ran out the store, Michael Levy was working on his car in the parking lot and saw y'all run out? So the victim had nothing to do with the offense. He didn't inserted himself. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish. But so Michael Levy wasn't working at the store. That's all we need to know right now. Yeah, let's go.
I just got married 3 days prior to that incident. And so he saw what was happening, saw us running out, and tried to thwart us, tried to stop us from stealing those jackets. He ran, jumped on top of the car, started hitting the windshield with some tool that he was working on his car with. Glass was shattering in my friend's face.
Good Samaritan.
I handed him the gun and instructed him to shoot Mr. Levy. He shot Mr. Levy. We drove away laughing. I made everybody laugh, you know, being the comical guy that I am. Not really having a full understanding and concept what we had just done.
Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and 2 other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from
3 sports jackets and a baseball cap.
Witnesses say Levy pounded on their windshield until the teens threw the jackets out the car window. Then Doolittle supposedly shot him in the back as Levy walked away. White repeated the conversation he says he had with Doolittle after the shooting.
I said, look, you shot him.
And what did he do?
Started laughing.
Levy had been married only 4 days when he was shot.
But I always had my dreams of my Prince Charming. I found him. And it's hard to believe, but I did. And I believe in fairy tales because he made my dreams come true. And they took that away.
White will be testifying against all 3 of his buddies in exchange for a maximum sentence of 12 years. A juvenile judge reduced the charge from capital murder to murder against Doolittle, so the teenager faces from 5 years to life in prison.
Man, you got to purge.
Okay.
So the anniversary of the crime we committed was September 18th, 1991. Say, homie, I purge every year.
1991.
I purge every year. Because I know I've paid my debt to society, but man, I owe a debt to that victim. So I do the work that I do because I know at some point that killer as a kid changes. I know at some point, man, I know what he looked like. I tell the jury, I know what he looked like right now, man. But I promise at some point, he gonna be valuable to us.
Well, the man that got killed,
Michael Lee,
the situation that you were in 30 years ago, he has family members.
Yeah.
He had a mother, a father that may or may not have been alive at the time. Was he an older man or a middle-aged man?
Guy. Or? Yeah, he was in his early 30s. He was like 31.
Okay, in his early 30s. Did he have kids?
No kids.
No kids. Siblings?
Oh, yeah, he had a sister. Yeah, he had a sister.
Okay.
Tragic.
But he also had friends, and he probably had cousins and, you know, aunts and uncles and people who loved him and so forth. Have you ever come into any level of contact with any of his relatives or his friends?
No, they was from out of state, so he had just moved down there, man, and met his fiance. So they really had no ties to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So no, I hadn't crossed paths with nobody. I think for a long time, his sister, she protested. My co-defendant, and at this point, she's not protesting no more.
Okay.
Man, we trying to get him out of there. 30 years is something you done at the age of 15, 16 years old.
30 years for something he done at the age 15, 16 years old. Hey, man, there y'all have it right there, man. That's Charleston White on Vlad TV 2 times, right, in the same year. That's Charleston White on Vlad TV in 2021, basically testifying, telling you what happened, what went on with the case, and what he did, and, you know, how he has addressed it in his adulthood. And that's also Charleston White in 1992, once the trial commenced, taking a stand against his 3 co-defendants. Yeah, that's Charleston White there too. And this is the footage that everybody is seeing and everybody is talking about. But again, Charleston White has addressed this. Charleston White has said this multiple times on multiple occasions. But yet and still, what we here for, CEO? We here because the whole purpose of Charleston White, the whole reason that Charleston White is viral and exists on the internet, is that we can learn our lessons, that we can understand what's really going on as it relates to this street culture we was indoctrinated with. Yes, we was indoctrinated with this street culture. We wasn't born with this. We was indoctrinated through music, television, through our communities, through our projects, through our streets, through our blocks, you know what I'm saying, to be criminals and become super predators. Charleston White, at an early age, crashed out, man. Yeah. He crashed out. Not only did he crash out, I crashed out. Not only did he crash out and I crashed out, the whole generation in which I came from crashed out. We was the crash out generation. Yeah. So even before you get here to where we at now in the 2020s, right? Back in 1990, it was a whole different group of young kids growing up, a whole different group of youth that had been indoctrinated through music, through television, through streets, through violence, through poverty, to crash out. And we crashed out. And we here today to discuss the whole lesson here in this Charleston White situation, because Charleston White is not going nowhere, and this is nothing new. But yet and still, we get caught up in the bullshit, and we never address the lessons that could be learned, the things that can be developed, or the things that could be changed. All we care about is snitching, telling, fuck Charleston, I like Charleston, but nobody gets the message. Nobody gets to understand what's really going in there. And it's a few things that we gonna dispel here. The first thing is we gonna dispel is this. Charleston White always said that he told. He always said that he snitched. He always said that as a juvenile kid, you didn't understand what you got into until you got into it. See, the other people had never been in trouble. Nobody knows what they gonna do until they in that situation, especially when you 14, 15, and 16 years old. That's the one thing we're gonna address, right? The second thing we're gonna address is Michael Levy part in this. It's like, oh, well, he didn't have a part in it. Yes, he did, man. It's something we can learn about what Michael Levy did that we shouldn't do. But what's that, CEO? Man, stay out of people's business, man. Yeah, if Michael Levy could come back to life right now and tell you the mistake he made, he'll tell you he made a mistake jumping on that car. Yeah, he would not give a fuck about the motherfucking 3 starter jackets and a hat. He would have left that shit alone. So that's a lesson that could be learned, is stay out of people's business, man. Mind the business that pays you. Next thing we're going to talk about is the consequences for these actions and dispel a few things. Like, people think that Charleston White is not in contact with his co-defendants, that Charleston White did not pay a debt to society for what he's done and what's going on. And then we're going to get to the real fact. Nobody cares that Charleston White snitched. Nobody cares that video footage came out of Charleston White on the trial. What everybody is mad about is that Charleston White has made a success of his situation. That Charleston White, through denigrating people, talking about people, and exposing the harsh truth of our culture and our society that we was indoctrinated with, has made a success out of doing that. And that's what people are mad with. No doubt about it. If Charleston did not have a name, if his strategy and his branding did not work, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it worked. So guess what? Let's talk about it, man. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go. Yo, it's Big CEO, man. Right back in here with Big CEO Business, giving you some news you can use, Jack. Yeah, just like that, man. We right back in here with another video. And as y'all just saw, homie Charleston White is back in the headlines. He's back going viral. He is the algorithm, man. Yes. And this footage has surfaced of Charleston White snitching, testifying on his co-defendants at 15 years old. Yeah. 15 years old, he was snitching, testifying about a crime that they had committed when they went to go basically hijack, run out the store, smash and grab 3 starter jackets and a baseball cap, right? Someone was killed in this senseless incident. But it has came out that he was on the stand. He was testifying. Charleston has never hid this. No doubt about it. He has never hid this. He has never said that he didn't tell. He came out telling people that he told. He came out explaining the situation. But before we get to Charleston on the internet, let's go back to 91 with this picture here when Charleston was a kid. Now, what y'all have to understand, for people that haven't lived a street life, or people that haven't been part of investigations or arrested or murders or shooting, especially as children, right? Like I said previously, me and Charleston come from the crash out generation. What do you mean, CEO? Meaning we did not understand anything or cared anything about consequences. All we did was committed acts, and whatever happened came behind it. Yeah, me, myself included, just crashed out. Well, why do you say crash out and not gangster? Because we was kids. Yeah, we was children. We was children. We didn't know no better, and we didn't care to know any better. There's a saying, when you know better, you do better. We hadn't developed enough to get to the knowing point. And he speaks on this, that, hey, a child that is playing gangster, that is committing these acts, has an undeveloped brain and don't understand really his consequences and what's really happening in the world. Some people look at that and say that's an excuse. Well, let me give you an example of what an undeveloped brain is. An undeveloped brain is this. When you're 14, 15 years old and you're going into a store to steal jackets. Yeah, this was a trend. I had these starter jackets when I had an undeveloped brain. They was around $130, $150 just for the regular starter jacket, right here pictured with no hood. If it came with the bomber starter jacket, you're looking at $200 and up. And of course, in these times, 90, 91, 92, 93, our parents could not afford these things. So what did we do with our undeveloped brains and not having no experience of knowing? We took them from people. Yes, we took them from people. I had about 5, 6 starter jackets. Every last one of them was taken in some form or fashion of a strong arm robbery. Either I took it or my friends took it, and we started trading and swapping jackets and wearing each other jackets that we took. That was the trend. That what was going on. As a kid with an undeveloped brain and haven't had experiences, well, undeveloped brain, what you mean? Listen, as a kid that's 15, 14 years old, right now, do we think a kid that's 14 and 15 years old, brain has developed enough to truly understand consequences and what's going on? Yeah, our brain has developed enough to understand right and wrong and what we should and should not do it, but our brain hasn't developed the discipline enough to not proceed, to not have the strength to say, I ain't gonna participate. It takes a very strong person. Some kids do it, most kids don't, right? It's just the reality of it. Well, that's what you call an undeveloped brain. Someone's brain has developed it yet. Oh, that's an excuse. No, it's not, because here I am today as a 46-year-old man, and guess what? I don't steal starter jackets no more. I actually sell them, as you see right here. Yeah, I sell those same jackets at 46 years old with a developed brain. That is the difference from me at 15 and me at 46. My brain, my knowledge, the information that I'm operating on, my operating system hasn't developed enough yet to understand that I don't have to take shit. Yeah, I can actually make these things and sell them. That's what he means by undeveloped brain. And that's exactly what happened. These kids went into a mall to take starter jackets that they shouldn't be taking. This is senseless violence, but this is also poverty. This is having a lack of, right? When you can't get something, you take it. That's just what it is. Nobody wants to suffer with the lack of not having when it's right there in the store. Yes, look this word up. It's called relative poverty. Yeah, relative poverty is what creates violence, not just poverty. Meaning like this, if you go to a third world country and everybody's broke, everybody's living in huts, and they walking around with no shoes, those people are the most peaceful people on earth, because everybody is broke. It's only when relative poverty exists is when I'm broke, but my neighbor has money. Or I'm hungry, but the store has the food. That's relative poverty, meaning like you're in a condition of poverty, but the person standing next to you is not. And that relative poverty is what creates violence here in America. Facts amongst white people, black people, Mexican people, amongst all people. Relative poverty is what creates this. When we was all broke, when we was all poor in the projects before drugs and money and all this came in, it was a very peaceful place. Once they implemented drugs and this person got rich and this person didn't, relative poverty kicked in and violence started. And that's just what it is. That's some psychology for y'all. So let's go back to the running out the store. These kids with undeveloped brains who have understood, though, they do have some understanding, but their understanding is limited based on their knowledge, is to go in here to take these clothes, take these jackets and run out. They had a plan. Nowhere in their plan did they plan on killing nobody. But guess what happens with these undeveloped brains? These kids also have a gun. Yeah, that's the next thing that you have to understand. How a gun changed the dramatics of the scenario. If you take the gun out, these kids run out the store. Michael Levy jumps on the car. They throw out the 3 starter jackets in the hat and nobody dies. But when the gun is into the situation, you take it to the next level. Why? Because of your undeveloped brain and you not understanding consequences. That's why once they shot the man, they start laughing. Yeah, this ain't the movies. Meaning like this, they didn't shoot him and blood squirted out and, oh, I'm dying and I'm the help. No, the man jumped on their window, beating on the dashboard, creating these acts of violence. You gotta remember, up until this point, no violence has been exuded yet or shown. They just snatched the starter jackets and ran out. They haven't flashed a gun. They haven't did nothing of this sort. The only violence begins is when this good Samaritan jumps on their car and start bashing the car with a tool, knocking out their window to try to get them to stop. That violence that he showed, that he exuded, the good Samaritan, right, escalated to him getting shot because it was a gun in the car. And no one is there to tell little kids, 16-year-old boys who think they grown, 15-year-old boys who think they grown, to not use the gun. God ain't there to tell them not to use the gun when a grown man is attacking them and trying to stop them from what they doing. They gave up the merchandise, but before they left, they used the gun. And if you go watch the story with Charleston say, guess what else the little kids did? They left, got out the car that they had, because they had stole that car, and went to a friend's house across the street from the mall to catch a ride. This kid shit. So you just ran in the store, shot somebody, and you don't even have a sense of getting away or running because they don't think the man died. They just think they harmed the man to let them know to quit playing with him, but they don't think the man is dead or any of this has happened, to where they go across the street at the same group of kids, go across the street from the mall and ask a friend for a ride. Catch a ride somewhere else, and when they go somewhere else, the friend who helped them catch a ride, the police went over there, they told the police where they was at, and they was arrested within hours of after doing this. Wasn't trying to run, wasn't trying to get away, didn't have no understanding for what had just took place. Didn't even know the man was dead or critically injured. They just shot him. Just feel like they wound him. Wow, like how they shot him, and no, because listen, if you ever been in these situations, it's not like the movies. It's not the way you think things work. It don't pow and there's blood everywhere and nigga hooping and hollering. Man, the man probably got shot and ran off, man. These are the things that are real life, that are true, that you guys that never experienced this life wouldn't have record knowledge of. You just trying to live this through a movie or through the internet. But in real life, man, these kids were not killers. These kids was adolescents, mischievous, bad, misguided, right? And a couple things failed them, man. Yeah, this society failed them. And there was a couple things here. One, poverty, lack of resources, not having. You know what I'm saying? Two, the environment that poverty creates. Three, no supervision, no dad, nobody there to make sure that as they undeveloped brains is growing, that their mental health is growing. You gotta understand, we speak about mental health now, but do you understand how mentally unhealthy our childhoods was? People growing up in this era, nobody was there to help us. Nobody was there to instruct us on what mental health was. When we was acting up and doing this, our mamas was just trying to take us to the Social Security office and get us a check. Yeah. Wow, nah, he ain't gonna listen. He bad as hell. Guess what they told my mama? Girl, you better take him up there to go get a check. They'll give you a crazy check. See, this is real life that I'm speaking and that Charleston is speaking, right? This is real life about these scenarios and what's going on if you grew up in them times. Mental health was goddamn me go to the Social Security office and get a check, and wasn't no fixing that. Yeah, that's it. If you go to jail, mama and them still get the checks, and you know, the checks just keep coming, but get a check, you'll get it for life. That's what our mental health was. Well, anyway, let's go back to the Charleston scenario, man. And mind me for this video being long, but time has no bearing on being real, right? So in the scenario, they get arrested, they go to jail. Now, again, it was never in the plan to kill nobody, but a gun was present and a gun was used. Now, this is what y'all don't know about the legal system, right? The first thing you don't understand and know about the legal system is this, that the legal system is not trying to figure out who did what, right? The way the legal system works is, if y'all are together, y'all all shot. Listen to what I'm telling you. We went to go to the mall to run out the mall with starter jackets. We didn't intend to kill nobody. Yeah, we didn't intend to get attacked and have to kill nobody. Listen, Michael Levy jumping on that car was him attacking them. I don't think y'all understand what's happening in real life, man. They went into the mall. They saw a black dude working. They felt like they would get caught if the black dude was there. They waited till a white boy was there because they feel like they could outrun the white boy. Listen to what I'm telling you. They had no plan to commit this act of violence. It's only in the face of violence that violence is performed. I don't think y'all understand that, man. It's only when Michael Levy with his tool jumps on the car and start beating on the window and trying to stop them and start committing these acts of aggression and violence that a gun is brought forth and a gun is used. Oh, well, Charleston handed him the gun. It's very true. Charleston say that in this thing. Well, why Charleston ain't in trouble? Because Charleston told the situation, took account for what was going on, And that was the real thing. But it's like, well, damn, do everybody in the car go to jail? Everybody in the car get in trouble for shooting? Okay, I hand you a gun and you shoot somebody. I'm going to say that again. I hand you a gun, tell you to shoot somebody, and you shoot somebody. It's like everybody is responsible for their actions. But the court don't see it like that. The court see it is that all 4 kids, right, committed murder. Say that again, because y'all don't understand this about the court system. The court see it as all 4 kids committed murder. Charleston had a gun. Charleston gave somebody the gun and they used it. All 4 of them left, but all 4 of them are convicted for a murder that they didn't plan on committing. A murder that happened based on them using defense in commission of a crime, right? Yeah, because they was getting offended. But whether it was a crime or not, they were getting attacked and they used it. All right. So these 4 kids, all of them kids, undeveloped brain, ends up in the justice system. Come on, man. There's no justice. Look at what happened to George Floyd. And it's 91. You know how racist this system is? There's no justice here. There's no explaining this. There's none of that. It's just bam, all of them. And then the next thing is this. Once you do get into that court system, and you as a kid or you as a juvenile, the court breaks everybody down, makes everybody tell what's going on, what's happening, what's this. People mama come up there and tell them to tell what's happening, what's going on, and what's this. There's no defense for Charleston. Charleston definitely snitched. He said he snitched. There's no doubt about it. But I'm just talking to the people that don't understand the system, that's what's going on in the streets. From 91 all the way to now, people are snitching and telling on each other. Codees are confessing and giving people up. Look at Lil Durk situation. People are confessing and giving people up. Look at the Young Dolph murder. The other 2, the getaway driver and the shooter, one of the shooters told on the main shooter that didn't want to tell, that kept it G, got him a life sentence. This is what's going on in the streets. This is what's been happening in the streets and in the court system. If you have any kind of dealings with this or deal with this, right? This is what's going on. So let's look at Charleston's situation. Charleston tells what's happening, what's going on. He give a detailed account of what's going on. They call that being state's attorney. Charleston becomes state's attorney as they put away all 4 defendants, right? Charleston is telling to say exactly what went on so all 4 defendants don't be convicted of murder, right? Is he right? Is he wrong? Hey, he wrong. He is wrong, but he is being real. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. All 4 of them would have got life sentences, right? If he don't do this. All 4 of them get life sentences for stealing 3 starter jacket and a hat and shooting a man that got it, that basically came after him. All right. But this is what y'all don't understand about the time they received, right? Charleston got a maximum sentence of 12 years, right? The main dude, Doolittle, he got a life sentence. All right. When you hear that, you hear unfair. Not only did he tell and get 12 years, but it's Cody, the dude that did the shooting, got a life sentence. Well, let's break the life sentence down. 1991. Sentenced as an adult to life in prison. That means you have to do 15 years before you see parole. I'm going to say that again. He has a life sentence that requires him to do a maximum, that requires him to do a minimum sentence of 15 years. So Charleston got 12, he got 15 to life. All right. After 15 years, he gets to see parole, he could come home. Charleston was committed to state school, TYC, Youth Commission, and he got out in 7 years. 7 years, he got out. He completed the program in 7 years. Out of the 12-year sentence, he did 7 years. So Charleston White didn't go home after this. I don't think y'all understand that. He did not go home. He did 7 years in the Texas Youth Commission, which we call TYC. He did not go to prison, which is TDC. Okay. Same 7 years, Doolittle did 7 years, went to TDC. He's gone on to TDC. He's doing his time. Halfway through his sentence, which is 7 years, Charleston get out. The next 8 years, Doolittle does, right? Puts him in 2006. Doolittle has been up for parole since 2006. He has not made parole in almost 20 years. Partially because the deceased sister don't want him to come out. She campaigns against him coming out most of these years. But the other part of it is Doolittle himself. Yes, Doolittle himself being in prison, going into prison with an undeveloped brain, being there and not able to growing up in prison. 30 years, more than 30 years at this point. But he's been up for parole 20 of those 30, and he still haven't been able to accomplish parole. So who has failed who at this point? Him and Charleston are in communication. Another thing about this situation is this. Charleston completes the 7 years, gets out, and he's no longer committing acts of violence. He's no longer gangbanging. He's a community leader. He's denounced the streets. He understands from his teachings and his learning in state school the game that was played on us. He actually enters the law program so he could be a lawyer, so he can help juvenile offenders, right, get a second chance and not succumb to doing life in prison like his friend was doing. Terrible, terrible situation, but these are the things that's going on in real life. Well, damn, how we get here, CEO? We get here because Charleston, being a community activist, wasn't effective enough. Charleston being out in the community, helping, building, wasn't effective enough. It did not fix the cycle that he saw continuously going on amongst the youth and amongst the undeveloped minds of our generations today. It's the same cycle. And for somebody that suffered in it, they cannot accept it. They cannot deal with it like that. So what does he do? He say, fuck this, man. I'm going online. I'm going right to the ignorant shit. No more preaching shit. That's why we ain't in church. That's why our churches are not filled no more. We don't want to hear the positive message. We don't want to hear the Lord gonna come. We don't want to hear that shit no more. We are overloaded and we are fully submerged in the ignorance and the bullshit. We want to hear the bang, bang, shoot them up. This person didn't make it. That person didn't make it. You a snitch, check in, out. We want all the bullshit. And Charleston White has become an anomaly of the bullshit. He has spoken out against it, and he has said this ain't right. Now, if Charleston wasn't an advocate against this shit, if Charleston act like the streets was something real and some place to be, then hey, man, I'll be like, man, Charleston, a whole ass nigga, he a bullshit nigga. But with a developed brain at 46 years old, I totally understand what Charleston is doing. I totally understand Charleston's message. That doesn't mean Charleston is right all the time. But that don't mean he wrong. He way from wrong than he is right. And he went about fixing his wrongs. And as y'all see at the end, man, not only with Charleston, with a lot of us that crashed out, with a lot of people and a lot of youth that caused people to lose their life or lose a lot of time. My brother just came home after 30 years for a murder in 1994. This is real life. This ain't me making no shit up from a YouTube video out in red. This shit is real life, man. And we pay heavy prices for those crimes and those things that we did with those undeveloped brains. And like you say, it is a purge. It is a cleaning. It is a trying to right the wrongs of our past that we can never feel. So that's what you see with Charleston. That's the anger he absorbs. That's the things that you see because he realized he can't fix the problem and he can't wake y'all up. So at the same time, he don't want to play friendly with y'all. Yeah, y'all get on here talking about snitching and ratting. He told you he ratted. He called himself Rat Williams. Why? Because the whole system is based on ratting. The whole Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., they sentence people to jail for ratting. You see it on the first 48. The street shit is a myth, man. What do you mean, CEO? Oh, it's some real nigga. What I'm telling you, if you a real nigga, get out the streets because the streets gonna break you. Niggas gonna snitch on you or you gonna end up snitching on somebody. game is set up to break you, man. And that's just what it is. That's the honest to God truth on you. If you don't snitch on nobody and nobody snitches on you, you still end up doing a life sentence, man. It's a lose situation. Charleston White message to get the fuck out the street. He a nigga that took the loss. He a nigga that told. He a nigga that quote unquote violated the code, and it ain't getting nobody nowhere. Everybody lost. Street shit is dead. Street shit is over. Hopefully you get that message. Hopefully you understand that. Hopefully you are raising your kids and doing things to help them develop their brains to where they don't get caught up in this madness and this bullshit of hip hop and stuff that we are being fed that keeps this cycle of violence, poverty, and ignorance going, or this YouTube shit trying to be real, man. Ain't nothing real. Be a father, be a son, be a husband, be something good in the community and make something happen, man. It's your boy, CEO Hockley. Hopefully this didn't go over your head. If it did, oh well, man. Stand on business the same way Charleston stand on business, man. Be about your business and go about your business and make things happen. Have more positive than you do negative and stay down, because people ain't mad at Charleston for what he did. People are mad at Charleston for winning. People are mad at Charleston for standing on his business and his principles and putting them in the way in which he could package them and sell them. That's what niggas is mad at. That's what niggas is frustrated by. And I get it. If you fucked up, you gonna be fucked up that somebody else is winning. If you ain't fucked up, you ain't gonna kill. And that's just what it is. Shout out to my nigga Nut. Shout out to the whole Fort Worth, man. Shout out to all the homies, man, that are still going through our journeys and still learning and still trying to understand what actually happened with us in our childhood and trying to outgrow and overstand situations today, man. Shout out to y'all. Whether y'all mad at Nut, whether y'all support Nut, shit don't matter, man. Stand up your business. Take care of your business. Stay the fuck away from the white folks, man. It's your boy, CEO Hockley. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do me a favor, man. Make sure you share this video. If you don't share it with nobody else, share it with a child, man. An undeveloped brain, a teenager, or a kid that may need to hear this, man. I'm out. If you really rock with me and you really want to support the channel, this is what I need you to do, man. Text the word salute to this number on the screen. Yes, text the word salute to this number on the screen, and you're going to join my personal text messaging service. It's free of charge to you, but I want to make sure that my supporters and the people that salute me get my videos first, man. I want to make sure YouTube never miss sending you one of these videos, and you get to catch my live shows, man, which are the livest shows on YouTube. Text the word salute to this number on the screen, and you're going to join my personal text message service and get all my videos, man, first directly to your phone, man. Appreciate you for watching. Thanks for tapping in. And like always, man, count up.